believe that our mental state and self-awareness is the driving force behind our attitude and reaction to life. On this podcast, we deal with everyday socio-psychological issues that affect our daily lives and how we can conquer them and live a wholesome living. Join in essence with Didi as we discuss topics including mental health, the effect of our interactions on our well-being, finances, and many other issues that affect our daily living. Hey guys, welcome back and welcome home. Welcome to our platform of growth, of learning, and being ourselves. Welcome to Women's Month. Thank you for being here. And this month will be dedicated to women. You know, their works, their efforts, their movement, and how their work is impacting me and us on a daily. So this month, our content will be based on the works of women around the world, their books, their poems, and their effort in allowing us to be where we are as women this day. And that gives us an introduction for our episode where we'll be discussing waves of feminism. We'll be discussing the works of women in the 18th centuries who fought for the rights that we have this day as women. To start with, we all know feminism. If you have been following the podcast, I've mentioned feminism a couple of times, so today we'll be talking about the waves of feminism. And also to note that women didn't always have the rights that they have now. The political rights, property rights, rights to their own bodies, and basically the rights to anything. In the beginning of everything, men have always had the upper hand in politics, in health, in ownership of property, of banks and everything. Men always had the upper hand. So this gives us an introduction of our first wave of feminism, which includes suffrage, property, and racial disparities. So the first wave of feminism was introduced in the mid-19th century in Britain, where women were fighting for the right to vote. But this kind of feminism didn't include women of color, but it included the voting rights for women who were in a specific racial group. It included the rights of women who were white and didn't really include the rights of the women in color. So the first wave movement developed progressive goals not only for suffrage but also equal opportunities to education and employment, and also for the right to own property. If we are being honest and if we're being true according to the history of patriarchy and feminism, women were under I don't want to say the impression, but were under they were forced to be nurturers. Although that is what women are naturally born nurturers, and we were born to take care. We were born to just nurture and to make sure that things go properly and everything. So before, women were not allowed the right to education and employment, and also to own property. So this wave of feminism came in place to give women that right to education and the right to exercise their rights in employment. And there's also one thing that came to mind as I was busy with this, is that it is known that women mature faster than men, right? So why is it that in the workplace, most men are the ones that are holding higher positions, and in other instances, they earn more than women? but at the same time, women mature faster than men. Is it subjective, or is it only applicable in some instances and not the economically active population, or what? How, up to which length are women more matured than men, But anyway, abolitionists such as Elizabeth Cady and Lucretia Mott boldly advocated with the Declaration of Sentiments and a campaign that demanded the right to such things and the right to independence. Those are the women that firstly fought for the right to equality amongst men and women in the workplace, and also employment rights and property rights, although it didn't really give much space to the women of color. But we will get into that as the podcast progresses. The second wave of feminism included radical feminists and equal rights feminists, which involved it's characterized by its commitment to both social and economic justice, encouraging women to fight for equality in all aspects of society, including the household. So this wave of feminism was characterized by immense job opportunities that created equal job opportunities and normalized divorce rights, and an increase in female representation in politics and legalized abortion in some areas. This also included rights to our reproductive system. Women didn't really have the full ownership of the number of children that they might have, if ever they wanted children or not. And this was the main focus of this feminism. It advocated for rights to our own bodies, for ownership to our own bodies and our reproductive system, and to say, I want this many children, and if I'm not comfortable with this, I have the right to say no, and to really be firm in the decision that we've made, to remember that we own our own bodies, And the third wave feminism, which includes gender roles and new viewpoints. And I believe that to this day and age, we are still, to this point, or to an extent, still in the wave that we have just mentioned. Because this is what I was speaking about, that we will get into it. In the first wave of feminism, it didn't include women of other colors, it only included the whites. So the second wave did not account for all women, obviously, especially non-white, and those also in lower class, and those in the LGBTQ community. So the third wave feminism was guided by academic criticism such as postmodernism and queer theory, and women in this wave acknowledged the challenges that were connected with identities such as the oppression of Black women for their gender and race. And this intersectional viewpoint was crucial to acknowledge the limited outlook of previous white upper middle class and heteronormative waves. So this wave gave equality to different kinds of people who would like to identify as women, and to also ensure that their viewpoints also matter, and their space also in economy and political structures is also acknowledged, because the world does not only include white women or white people, but also includes women of color and also people who are in the LGBTQ community. So this wave is inclined to making sure that there is progression in that area, and they are also included, as much as the whites were included or were fighting for the rights to vote and everything, but under their race, this wave advocates for people who belong in every other race and who can identify with other gender roles, unlike just male and female. So finally, the fourth wave, which includes the power of social media, it shares the viewpoint of different women across the world and includes topics such as body positivity and sexual assaults in different public spaces through the use of social media. This was the beginning of hashtags that were included, and that is currently being practiced by women and also people around the country to push the rights of women and to push also the rights, not only women, but also everyone, I believe, because as I have said before, that we evolve as a country, we evolve as a people and as communities. Such hashtags are introduced or were introduced as this form of fourth wave to get the movement of equal rights and equal human experience to be a part of everyone, I don't want to say excluding, but including everyone, no matter where they come from, their race, their gender, or anything like that. And it includes examples of the hashtag of the Me Too movement that began in 2017 in New York, that was published under the allegations of sexual harassment and other things like that. And also recently we have had how the crimes against women and children are increasing and how women are dying, and some, if not most, are included in sexually abusive relationships, or they're just being sexually abused and they're being killed and everything. So this wave is focused on pushing the feminism through social media. So that is the insight for today. I spoke about a lot of things. I hope that I am making as much sense as I think I am. And this month is just to say, push your kind of feminism and be in touch with who you want to see or what you want to see in the economy. Be the change that you always speak of. Push the rights that you think women must have, or that you know and believe that women should be having to this point. I have outlined in bits and pieces the origin of the waves and the impact that we currently see in our country. So as people who we are living in the countries and places where there are hotspots of women being abducted, being abused, being killed for whatever reason. Some women are killed because they cannot stand being in abusive relationships. Some are raped and killed. Some are involved in a lot of crimes that could have been prevented if women were being respected and acknowledged enough. So this month, be the change that you want to see. If you can, advocate for women wherever that you are, and know that they also have the right to this human experience. Be the change you want to see. Go out there and be a protector of women and children. Thank you. Have a beautiful week. I hope I made sense. I hope that from this, you will have a different viewpoint and you will advocate for women. Thanks. Enjoy your Women's Month. Bye. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, share, leave a review, and rate. Let us all be whole and live a purpose-driven life.